I'm wearing this little thing. There's a camera recording. I don't know if you guys have seen the last week's class is on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So if you go to YouTube, go to Sweet Group Realty. The whole class is up there. So last week was like an hour and 10-minute class, and had a lot of good stuff. So we'll get started today. Just kind of a quick little recap. If you weren't here last week, what we went through was our quadrants of lead gen. You remember that, Melissa? We did that a long time ago. Are you a networker, marketer, prospector, converter? So when you're planning your year out, when you're planning a business plan, stay in your lane. Let's make the plan around stuff we're going to do. So know your own quadrants, and then have a weekly strategy session. So today's Monday. If you haven't done it yet, this is a good day to do your strategy session for the week and figure out, okay, if I'm a networker, what am I doing this week for networking? Like literally, do I have lunches, coffees, open houses, events, classes? I mean, what am I doing? Am I meeting with people? I would put this stuff in my calendar ahead of time, so it's already in there, and then I live the week out and go through all that stuff. But have your weekly strategy session. This is probably the simplest and most effective business plan there is. It's just to every single week go through and figure out, what am I doing? How have I been doing so far? And what am I going to do differently this week? And then just plan it out in your calendar. And that's what the action sessions are. That's when you plan them out. That's what you actually do. So put those in. I can't say this strongly enough. Most realtors don't do this. They have ideas in their head. A lot of things rattle around in their head about what they're going to do, but they don't put it down on their calendar and make a commitment to the appointment, right? Even if it's just to call 10 leads or whatever, just make an appointment and then get in the habit of doing what's on our calendar. I always talk about our journal, and I'll talk about more of that in a minute, but my journal, which I always keep with me everywhere I go, I write like thoughts. If I'm thinking about stuff, I write it in here. I should do this probably, or I have an idea for that probably, and I get my journal out and I start writing a lot of stuff in it. But if it's actually going to happen, then it goes in my calendar, right? If it's not going to happen for sure, I use either a different color in my calendar so I know, or I don't put it in here. But all my calendar stuff is color coded, so I know like if it's orange, like I'm gonna do it. If it's red, that means a family thing, I'm going to do it. So I have things that have no exception priorities that need to get done. Those are all in my calendar. If it's something I'm kind of noodling around, I'll typically do it in here until it gets to the point I'm actually going to do something, then I'll put it in my calendar. The worst thing you can do is put a ton of stuff in your calendar and don't do any of it, which is what a lot of people do,
Overwhelmed.
right? They have tons of stuff in their calendar. They're going to run, they're going to read, they're going to work out, they're going to meet with these people, they're going to teach a class, they're going to study for this thing they're going to do, and then, the day gets away and they watch Netflix all day and they didn't do any of it. It's like, so then they're building a habit of not doing what you said you're going to do in your calendar.
My biggest problem was putting it on the calendar, right? And then remembering to check the calendar.
Right.
You have to it's steps. When you're making a change,
Yeah, when you're new to
it's
it.
all going to be in steps, and you got to just get it there.
And it's funny because I'm a very much a right-brained entrepreneurial mind. I don't like living by a calendar either, because people say, oh, I hate that. Yeah, I'd hate it too. But you learn to run a business and run your life by living off of your calendar. You don't have to have every single thing planned. I love white space. When I'm on vacation, it's all white space. I don't plan anything out. Like some people like to have an itinerary and what they're doing is like, that's not me. But for my work and for my regular life, I need to have it in there. Make sure
If it's not in there, I'll forget, and
then I won't do it.
It's going to happen. Yeah.
Exactly.
That was a key word last week that you used, was consistency. That really just kind of hit me a lot. And finding things to be consistent, whether it's going to the gym to start off with, or checking your calendar at a certain time every day, or doing a weekly strategy, building that muscle memory
Yep.
was just a huge word for me last week.
Good. Yeah. Consistency. That should be a lot of us' word for the year is consistency, right? So here, why are we not consistent? I'm glad you said that, Travis, because it kind of leads us into this next thing. Who has read the Atomic Habits? The book Atomic Habits. Anybody read it? Travis, you read it? Sharon, have you read it? Mike, have you read Atomic Habits? Tracy? Atomic Habits by James Clear. Melissa, have you read it?
No.
So this is in that book. So if you read it, Travis, you've seen this, but this is why people are not consistent. Okay, this is literally in a nutshell our life. We think this line right here is what's going to happen. We think results over time if we do anything. Study a foreign language, start a musical instrument, want to lead generate on real estate. Anything we do, we think the more we do it over time, we're going to get more results. So we have this expectation in our head of how things are going to go. They don't go that way though, right? This is how they really go. You go quite a while with nothing. You could put in here, weeks or months. Little hashtags down here, right? Little hashes. But you might go 2-3 weeks. You could eat healthy every single day for a month and not lose any weight.
Yeah. Or feel a change, really.
right? You could start playing the guitar and try and figure out how to put chords together and start, banging around stuff every day. I know this from experience, guys. For a month and 2 months, and still not be able to play a simple song. And you're like, am I ever going to get anywhere? And this is not where we think we should be. We think we should be up here, but we're down here. But the line actually, if you keep at it, consistency, if you keep at it over time, this is what really happens. Okay, we get a lot better. There's an exponential curve here, but it takes a long time to get going. And this is where people quit, when they're in this, what we call the valley of disappointment. Valley of disappointment. This is where we're below where we think we should be. I've been studying French every day for 3 months. I have a linguist. I have a thing on my phone. It's 3 months later and getting ready for my trip to Paris, and I still really can't speak the language. It's so frustrating. It's like, yeah, it takes a long time to set this foundational stuff. Diet and exercise. How many people can relate to that, right? I mean, it's like you run every single day for a week, and you don't feel like it's any easier, right? 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Blow it for 1 week.
So this is when people quit, when they're in this valley. Anywhere along this line, this is when people quit things. They quit open houses don't work. Calling for sale by owners don't work. Lead genning, op-city leads, they're all garbage, right? It's just about putting the numbers together consistently over time, though. Right? Last week I talked about Alex Hermosi. So Alex Hermosi online is a big sales social media guy. And he says he puts out 450 pieces of content, which is a video, every week.
No, it's really not.
Every week, right? So people say, well, social media doesn't work. I'm like, it works for Alex Hermosi. He's making millions of dollars a month, literally, millions of dollars a month. And you say, well, I don't make millions of dollars a month on social media. Well, how much social media are you doing? I'll bet you're not doing 450 videos a week, are you? You don't have a production company. You don't have a crew of people. It's like, well, no. Well, if you want to take anything to a level that it's going to work, we've got to start thinking bigger and do less things, but do them more consistently and do them better, right? If you're going to do open houses, I used to do open houses. I've told Sharon this every single day. When I moved here from Oregon in 2011, I held opens every single day. 4 to 6 during drive time, and then 11 to 1 on Saturday and Sunday. And it's like I typically find a vacant house. I had Craig Zuber and Scott Swan. They had a bunch of listings. I didn't have any listings. I talked to them. They said, yeah, you can hold my listings open. I held them open every day, and I got a lot of leads and a lot of listings from that. But there was a lot of them I did, nobody came. If I would have gone to the first 3 or 4 and nobody came, it's like, well, open houses don't work. It's like, well, you got to put the numbers together, right? Put the numbers together. So understand this is why people quit things, and this is why people are not consistent, because your expectation does not match your reality. Your expectation is up here, your reality is down here. It's discouraging. And people are like, I don't want to keep doing this then. Does that make sense, Mike? So the concept, I want to go over this concept, and we're going to do a SWOT, is the apple a day concept. So this is, you've all heard the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? And so Jim Rohn used to talk about this. He's like, well, what if that's true? What if eating healthier, in other words, made us get sick less and live a better life? Why don't people do it? Why don't people eat it? Like, why don't people eat an apple a day? It's not because it's hard, right? It's not very hard to eat an apple every day. Apples are like 37 cents at the grocery store. You don't have to wash it. You can just grab it, pick it up, and eat it. So an apple is pretty easy. The reason people don't do it is not because it's hard. This is the lesson. I really want you to get this lesson. The reason people don't do it is because it's easy not to do. It's easy to do it. It's also easy not to do it. Just to make a different choice. It's not that hard to call through leads. It's not that hard to call your past clients. It's not that hard to visit people and talk at an open house. I don't think it's very difficult. Well, why don't people do open houses every single day? Well, because it's easy not to do. It's easier to go do something else. I'd rather watch TV. I'd rather go shopping. I'd rather do anything else, right? So the point is, the greatest threat to your success is not failure. It's boredom. We're just not doing the things we should be doing because, well, it's easy just to say no in the moment. But that was what mattered. Like all those little things we didn't think mattered did matter when you add them all up. And that's why the apple a day, you start with something small. Start with something easy. Don't start creating some giant plan that you're going to try and implement for 2026. It's like, that's never going to happen. Start with something very simple that you can just do on a daily basis. The 2-minute rule. If you read Atomic Habits, the 2-minute rule. It should be so easy, whatever it is you're going to do that's new, you should be able to do it in 2 minutes. If it takes a lot longer than that, you're probably not going to stick with it for very long, right? So start with something small. This is a simple concept. That doesn't mean it's easy. That's why I do my ice baths consistently. Like today is 1,056 in a row, right? Every single day for 1,056 days. And who was it last week? Somebody asked me, do you have to do that every single day? Who was in here? Remember that? Yeah, somebody asked me, do you have to do it every single day? Well, no, probably not. I don't have to do it every single day to get the benefit for my back. But yeah, it's about consistency for me. It's become a mental challenge for me. Can I do this every single day? I don't have to, but I want to. And I want to prove to myself and challenge myself that I can do this every day, even when it's difficult, when I'm traveling and it's not convenient. It's like I have to figure this out. That's part of the deal. Find a spa that has an ice bath, or buy 50 pounds of ice at the gas station, pour it in the bathtub in the hotel. I mean, I've done all those things many times. So figuring it out and making yourself do it is a simple concept. Sit in an ice bath for 3 to 5 minutes a day, that's not that hard. Every day for 3 years though, also, okay, that's hard.
I didn't get mine out.
Without missing one. Well, you want to create momentum in the right direction. So as one good habit leads to another, everything affects everything else, right? So Jim Rohn would say this, if you start eating apple every day, in other words, if you start eating healthier, you'll probably start working out a little bit more. If you start working out a little bit more, you might start reading and journaling. You start journaling, you start like putting together some more plans. Like everything affects everything else. Every new discipline affects something, but every lack affects something too. Every time we think we should do something and we don't do it, that erodes our self-image a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Right? Maybe I should do this. I'm going to do this. Okay, make a plan, it's on my calendar, and then I didn't do it. The next, right? You never done that before, sure. No. I know nobody over here has ever done that. But what it does is it erodes our self-confidence and our self-image a little bit at a time. So the way to turn that around is start with something small. Start eating an apple a day. Start getting up when your alarm goes off. I was actually at a seminar when somebody asked Stephen Covey this. It was after the event. We're kind of just hanging around visiting. One of the people said, I have a really hard time doing things I say I'm going to do. Like I have stuff on my calendar and I don't get it done. How do I, where do I start? How do I stop this? And Stephen Covey says, just set your alarm like a normal time. Doesn't have to be anything early. And just get up when it goes off. He says, do you do that now? He's like, no, I hit snooze or I roll over or whatever. It's like, start right there. Set yourself, a goal for 1 week, just to set your alarm and get up when it goes off. And that'll start building the habit of being truthful to yourself. That's called integrity, doing what you say you're going to do. Right? Periodization training is understanding the concept in sports. So I was a runner. You can't peak all the time. You're going to have peaks and valleys. So you want to match your peaks in real estate to the market peaks. So we talked about this last week. When's the best quarter to sell real estate? I mean, you can sell real estate all the time, but the best quarter is what? Second quarter. Second quarter is number 1. Fourth quarter is number 2. Yep, fourth quarter is a good time to sell real estate. Mm-hmm. Then it's 3, then it's 1. But they all, we sell houses all the time. But if you're going to say, wait, I want to really be at the top of my game, you better be at the top of your game in the second quarter and the fourth quarter. That means probably not taking a 3-week vacation in April or May when the market, April, May, June, that's the strongest market we have in real estate. If selling houses is your goal. No, you don't have to. But if selling a lot of houses is your goal, then that's true. So periodization training is figuring out what those time periods are. Chris is just speaking and making faces. And then designing your schedule around that. Like design your vacations before 2026 starts. Start thinking about right now, like where am I going to go? When am I going to do this? Hopefully I don't do it during the peak times of real estate. And if you are going to, have somebody to cover you, those kind of things. This is my favorite quote from Jim Rohn. Set the kind of goals that will make something of you to achieve them. So when you're thinking of 2026, this is the whole purpose of setting goals, by the way, what you become in the process. It's not getting the goal. It's like if you set a goal, like if I'm a runner, let's say I can run a 6-minute mile, and I set a goal to run a 5.5-minute mile. And I train for a year, and I finally get down, I can run a 5.5-minute mile, so I hit my goal. Hitting the goal is great, but think of how much better runner I became. That's the value of the goal. What training did I participate in? What did I eat differently? How did I structure my workouts? That whole process that got me down there was the value, not the actual goal itself. Does that make sense? That's really important. And a lot of times, like when we go back to the value of disappointment, we're doing things that aren't making any results, Tracy. So think about this. Think about if I put an ice cube on the counter. Let's say this room is 26 degrees. It's really cold in here. Okay? I put an ice cube on the counter, it just sits there. Well, we turn up the thermostat to 27 degrees. And it still sits there, right? We turn up to 28, 29, 30, the ice cube's not doing anything. 31, the temperature's rising. 32, All of a sudden, 33 degrees, it starts to melt. You're like, oh, okay, so that's what actually mattered, right? Was from 32 to 33. That's what mattered. Well, no, all of it mattered. It mattered to go from 26 to 27. Even though you didn't see anything, there were no visible results. It was still necessary for the process. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So we don't see changes a lot of times. That doesn't mean nothing's happening. The process is actually happening, but the visual results don't happen until some certain point. But that doesn't mean to give up. All this is necessary to get this, right? But if we quit during this time, then, well, we're never going to get the upside. So one of the things we did last week was a SWOT. So I want to go through this with everybody. I've got some things I want to make sure I'm announcing for our classes coming up as well. And I've got a little form I want you to fill out. But I want you today, we're gonna sit down. I'm going to show you 2 different SWOT examples of 2 different categories that I did, and I want you to do them. Did anybody do any of a SWOT after last week, after we talked? Did not? So I want you to do that this week after we talk about this, because this is how we're going to set up 2026, okay? So think about what you're good at and what needs improvement. That's the whole point of a SWOT. Where can I make adjustments? Calendar time to do it. Calendaring versus journaling. Calendaring is I'm actually going to do it. Journaling is I'm thinking about it. And then calendar, how are you going to make small adjustments that are going to stick? So these are from the book, The One Thing, Jay Papasan and Gary Keller. It's like page 171, I think. They have a bunch of different categories they talk about. So I thought this was a good idea. You could do a SWOT on each one of these things. On your health, finances, personal development, relationships, self-care, home life, free time, and your career. Just pick ones, whatever you want to pick and do a SWOT. So I did a couple SWOTs. I want to show you. This is what a SWOT would look like. So I did a SWOT on my health. Okay. So first thing you do is list your strengths. What are you good at? Well, I exercise every single day. That's a strength. I'm good at that. I eat really well. I'm good at that. I drink lots of water, and I get time away from stress. I sleep at least 9 hours every single night. So I feel really good about these things. Then just list your weaknesses. Well, I snack too much on sweets. I have a sweet tooth, especially this time of year. I'm pretty good. Yesterday I didn't have any. On Saturday I did. Sunday I had nothing. Today I'm not going to have any sweets. So this whole week I'm not going to have any sweets. That's my goal. No sugar. So no soda, no candy, no nothing sweet at all. But I tend to do that. So that's one of my weaknesses. I tend to eat after 7 in the evening sometimes. Lately I've been really good at that. But this can happen to me, especially if I'm really busy during the day and you have that kind of emotional letdown in the evening and then you want to snack. You can be really good until 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening and all of a sudden I eat 2,000 calories at 7 o'clock. I mean, I've done that many times. Like, okay. And then I typically sometimes struggle when I'm traveling because I travel for talks all the time. I do different things. People hire me to go on stages and I speak different places and it's harder to eat healthier and in my same routine when I'm traveling on the road. Good healthy food is not as convenient as junk food is. So sometimes I break my routine. So you just list out your strengths, list out your weaknesses, and then opportunities. This is the most important one. What can I do differently? Well, don't eat after 7 o'clock. So what do I do? Like typically lately I've been doing this. I've been brushing my teeth at 7 o'clock. I just walk back into the bathroom, brush my teeth, and it's like, okay, so now I don't want to. That creates a little bit of friction because I'd have to brush them again if I had another snack. So my son will come down typically with some sort of a snack, or my daughter who eats all the time. And I've already brushed my teeth though. I'm like, okay, I don't want this, whatever you're offering me, because they're offering me stuff all the time. But that's a cute little way to overcome that. Brush my teeth at 7 o'clock, that's one thing. How about not having snacks around? That's difficult with 2 teenagers in the house. But we're pretty good at, we have a pantry and we have these like clear they're like shoe boxes. But they're personal. It's like I have my stuff because we had to do this, guys, because my daughter will just eat us out of the house. And she eats everything I buy for me. And like, I bought that for me. And then she eats it. So I was like, okay, you know what? So I solved the problem by having...
Everybody has their own cubby.
We have our own cubbies.
Snack cubbies.
Yep. You do not get in my cubby, right? And so she doesn't. So if I want snacks, they're in my cubby. So in the pantry, she has like 5. I think I have 2 or 3. But I've got my chocolate bars because I'm a dark chocolate junkie. Sometimes I'll have snacks like Reese's Pieces or something I shouldn't have, but they'll be in my cubby, so she won't touch them. But if I want to do this, like right now, I don't have any. I have dark chocolate. That's all I have in my house for me. So
My cubby runs out, I'm sure.
you just buy more, right? You'd raid somebody else. You get somebody else's.
She's breaking into someone else's cubby.
She knows not to do that.
She's the one that steals everyone's lunch from
But this is environmental design. Design your environment to support you. If you like Brian Buffini, how many of you like Buffini, right? And you want to write handwritten note cards or send text to people? Mm-hmm. So have handwritten note cards somewhere in your desk. Have envelopes. Have stamps. Have a pen. I mean, like, Environmental design is so important. If we don't have a note card, how likely are we to write handwritten note cards? You're not going to. Like, there's that's friction. Again, so many little friction points. So we want to remove friction. The study they did in the book is fascinating. Environmental design in Atomic Habits. They talked about this hospital in Massachusetts. Remember the story? So they had like a really high incidence at this hospital of people missing work for sick days. And they thought, what could we do? And so they thought about seminars, getting people to eat better. So they went around, they looked at the cafeteria. There were 5 soda stations at this big cafeteria for this big hospital. And there were 2 water stations, okay, with bottled water. So all they did, literally, the only thing they did was they swapped those out. They had 5 bottled water stations and 2 soda stations. And then they took this, they had chips and junk food snacks at the registers. They took that away. That's all they did. They were still there, that they weren't at the register. They were back, wherever else. They didn't teach a class. They didn't tell anybody. They did nothing except change the environment. And the consumption of the pop and soda went down like 80-some%. Their numbers of sick days the next year went down 87%. Literally 87% less sick days. And all they did was change the environment of the stuff that people are eating every day. They didn't even tell them. They didn't talk about it. They didn't do a class like, hey, you guys should eat healthier. They just changed the environment, and then people we're very much creatures of habit.
They were doing a test, I bet you. Let's see what happens with everyone's health after this.
Well, we've all been to grocery stores or Best Buy or anything, when you go out and all the stuff at the very end that you want to grab, right? It's all the terrible stuff. It's environment. So make sure your environment supports your goals, whether it's physical, like put apples and fruit on the counter instead of candy. I have weights all over my house. If people come to my house, like behind my couch, I've got 2 30-pound dumbbells, a 35-pound, like literally in our house. Upstairs, I have a weight room too, but all over the house, I've got weights because I'm constantly just lifting weights and doing military presses, watching TV. Make sure your environment supports your design. I have a pull-up bar right outside my office in my house because I do pull-ups every day all the time. But if I didn't have that, if I had to go to the gym, because I do go to the gym every day, but if I had to only go to the gym, I would never work out at home. And I would go to the gym. How many people go to the gym every single day?
You'd just be making a donation to the gym, honestly, with your membership.
Yeah, a lot of people do. They're making donations. Right? So set your environment up. And then I pre-make my meals for travel. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't. Lately, I've been pretty good about it. I still buy, every time I go to Costco, I'll buy 2 of those, the chicken in the little 10 packs, the pre-done chicken, you know what I'm talking about? I'll buy those, and sometimes I'll buy little things I can put in them, like little hot sauces and kind of things to make them taste decent because they are terrible. But whatever, I'll pre-make that stuff ahead of time, then I don't want to worry about it. Like I have in my truck right now, I've got some, my wife made some actual beef stick for me from beef, and I buy chomps as well, and the kind of beef stick kind of things, and that'll be my snack. Like, that's good. So I'll change my environment and I'll change what's available to me because I know I'm not strong enough to resist stuff either all the time, so I've got to not have it. What if I don't do this? What if I don't do these things? The threats is I'll have lower energy, I might gain some weight, not be as healthy, might get sick more. Those are things I don't want. So what happens is over time, this becomes your identity. Doing these things becomes kind of like who you are. For me, on certain things, it's pretty easy because I'm doing it for a long time. So I was at Keller Williams when I was the broker there, sharing my office, remember, at the left-hand side, right when you walk in the front door is a front desk, then my office is the first office on the left-hand side. Well, the owner of the brokerage would put donuts on the front counter almost every day, like 3 to 5 boxes of donuts from Krispy Kreme, like every day. And my office was like right there. I could see them. I could smell them, right? And I walk by there all the time.
You can't even shut the door because they have that.
Yeah, exactly. And I walk by all the time, and I never had any. And people would say, well, Rick is just so disciplined. It's like, well, it's not that I was so disciplined. Maybe discipline started off being part of it, but it was just my identity that I don't eat junk food at work. I just don't do that. If I'm going to eat something at work, I'm going to eat something healthy. But that came over a long period of time of doing the right things. Eventually it becomes a habit, and your habits eventually become your identity. And that's what we talked about last week, right? So if you have an identity of I like to snack on sweets, it's hard not to because you crave it, but also it's okay because that's who you are. So to change that, it takes a long time of changing our habits. So I want you to do one right now. I'm going to show you one more example, but I want you to do one with me as we do this. I did a lead generation one. So here's my strengths on generating leads. I know lots of techniques on how to generate leads. I like to talk to people. I understand how to time block. I think I have a good sales process. I understand how to take people through a process. So I think I'm good at those things. But my weakness is I'm not always consistent. Travis, right? I mean, we all struggle with that. Would rather do other things sometimes. I'm not as direct sometimes with people as I could be because I used to really worry a lot about what people thought. And as you get older, that goes away some, right, Melissa? Thank goodness. When you go through menopause, you don't care. I don't give a crap what anybody thinks. And I just, overall, I would say for my goals when I was doing this was I just don't do it enough in general. I could just do more, right? So it's like, okay, so what are my opportunities to do something different? Well, create weekly strategy sessions. That's a big one. Time block. If I'm not doing this enough, time block sessions to do this. And don't time block like 2-hour sessions because you're not going to do it. Time block like a 30-minute session, 15-minute session. My Google Calendar goes in 15-minute increments. So I might just say, you know what, for 15 minutes, I'm going to make calls. Or for 15 minutes, I'm going to send some video text to past clients. And I could bang out 5 or 6 in 15 minutes and then be done with it, right? And then have another time block later. But time block these little sessions and then take action. Prepare for who I'm going to contact ahead of time instead of just winging it every time I meet somebody. Like think through who would be a good client. We talked about that last week. Who's your ideal client? What's your niche going to be? We'll talk some more about that today. Create rewards for small wins. This is where I get my dark chocolate out. Like if I do my 15 minutes or 30 minutes, I go downstairs, have a piece of dark chocolate in my house. So, yeah. Reward myself for doing the stuff I'm supposed to do. And that's what we're going to talk about today with the superhero game, which I have a sign-up sheet for. So if you're not here today, I know a bunch of people, I had 6 people tell me they're going to do this, the superhero lead generation game. Send this around and sign up for it if you want to do it. I know Brent's going to do it. Chris Norris is going to do it. So we're starting today, and Sharon has done this before, we're going to start keeping track of our points. Starting today. And I'm going to have an app. Hopefully by this afternoon, I'll be able to teach you guys all how to log your points in an app so I can keep track of it easily. In the meantime, just email me each day what your points are, because you'll forget if you don't do that. Like, what did you do today? So I put it in the Slack channel, everything that counts as points.
Yeah, I'll take a screenshot of it because I was looking at
If you're not in the Slack channel, email me, rick@rickgray.com, and I'll send you the actual form. Okay, but it's in the Slack channel. Create rewards for small wins. So if I don't do any of this stuff, what's going to happen if I don't correct these weaknesses? Well, I'm not going to make as much money as I could. I'm going to be missing out on the reward of helping more people and doing things. And I'm going to feel worse about myself because I know I could do more and I'm not doing more. So then that's like, well, why didn't I? That's one of the biggest things about taking action that people don't talk about. They talk about, yeah, you'll make more sales. They talk about, yeah, you'll get better. But they don't talk about, you'll feel better about yourself. That you become more powerful the more things you do that you know you should be doing. That's your personal power goes up. So I want you to pick a category right now. Everybody in here, pick a category. Health, finances, family, business, lead gen. Pick something, and let's do a SWOT right now. You want a pad, Sharon? I've got pads and pens back here for you too.
Oh, sure.
I brought lots. I was prepared, see, because I knew a lot of people wouldn't bring one. There you go. There you go. So pick a category. I don't care what it is. And then start listing, first of all, your strengths. And think about like the year, 2025. Here we are coming down to the end of the year. What did I do really well in whatever category it is? Come up with at least 3 things you did good. And you can do a lot more of these later, but I want you to do one right now so you get the idea of how it works. And then on your own, it'd be great. You could do more. So 3 things you did well. And then look up at me when you got your 3 things, because then we'll move on to your weaknesses. You got 3?
Oh, yeah.
You got 3? Okay. So now write down like 3 things you didn't do well. And we don't dwell on the weaknesses. The point of this is not to beat ourselves up. The point of this is to be honest with ourselves. Say, you know what? I'm really good at these things, and I don't really do these things very well. So then it's like, okay, why not? Why am I not doing those kind of things? But list 3 strengths, now list your 3 weaknesses. Everybody have 3 weaknesses? Okay. The one I spend the most time and thought effort on is the opportunities, the O. What could I do? So I think about my strengths and my weaknesses. How do I, 2 things, maximize my strengths, maybe time blocking so I could get more consistent. If I'm already doing something, I'm just not doing it enough, how do I maximize that? And how do I bring up my weaknesses? You could read the book Strengths Finder and Strengths Finders 2.0, and they do a lot of studies. They talk about you're actually better off maximizing your strengths than trying to bring up your weaknesses. Like if there's subjects in school, my kids, I always tell my kids, if there's certain things, if you're not good at it and you don't like it, it's like, just do your best and move on. The stuff that you have an affinity for, you have an aptitude for, you really like, then that's where you spend most of your time. And that's, you'll be more successful in life if you magnify what you're good at than trying to bring up, hey Mandy, than trying to bring up what you're not so good at. But there are things in real estate we need to do, which we'll talk about here on this next form I'll hand out to everybody, that somebody has to do. Either we have to do it or we have to leverage it. So what is it that we're not very good at that we could change somehow? Or maybe I could get better. Certain things it is probably better to leverage. Like I leverage video production. You know, Jeff has leveraged video stuff to Zeke. It's like, why wouldn't you find somebody who's really good at that stuff and do it? Rather than you try to do it and bang your head against the wall every day. You know. But like there's some basic things in real estate, which we'll talk about on this forum here in a minute, that we need to do, like lead generating and lead converting, that we can't really leverage to anybody else. That's always going to fall on us. So write down at least 3 opportunities for some changes you could make in 2026. Everybody got your opportunities? Okay, then go to threats, the last one. Don't spend a lot of time on threats, but what if you don't make any changes? What if you don't do any of the things you just wrote down you were going to do? What if none of that happens? Like, what's the worst case scenario? And this is where a lot of people struggle because, like, the worst case scenario is like it's not that bad, and that's where we have a comfort crisis, and we're all very comfortable, you know. So that's a bad thing in certain ways, comfort, because it keeps us from striving. It keeps us from trying to improve and grow. Because, oh, well, you know, I'm still fine.
That's where you go back to your weaknesses, right?
Yeah.
That's where you just fall back into that.
Yeah.
And then it gets to be a cycle.
Yep. So I'm going to talk about the comfort crisis here a little bit. One of the reasons we talked about earlier, like how I do my ice baths, is I try to find things that I can control that make me uncomfortable, physically as well as in business and emotionally in relationships, because I want to challenge my belief systems, challenge what I think is right. Is it really right? Is it always right? I mean, I'm always trying to challenge myself and not just always be comfortable. Because if you're always comfortable, you know, you're not growing and you're just going to atrophy. Muscles atrophy. You know, things grow and improve through being pushed. You don't push all the time. We're human beings, but we do need at some point to push ourselves and not just be stagnant. So anybody come up with some threats? You guys got your threats of what's going to happen if you don't do these things? Okay. Anybody want to share anything that they wrote? These are personal. You don't have to share anything, but if you want to. What did what category did you guys pick, Tracy?
I picked health, and my strengths are getting up at 4:44 in the morning, every morning, minus maybe 5 minutes. Walk 4 days. I walked 4 days a week in the hills, and changed my diet to no gluten and milk.
Nice. And you did that this year?
I did.
That's good. What did you not do so well?
Well, I goofed up here and there on the diet. It's hard not to be out and not hit something with gluten or milk in it.
Of course.
Or the milk chocolate around.
We have lots of chocolate around the corner, yes.
Right around the corner, not far from my office. And then the weakness is I would feel awful because of the autoimmune for 2 to 3 days, just wipe out. Bad attitude from there. And didn't plan any food ahead consistently to stay on track.
Right. Yep. So what were your opportunities, things you could do in 26?
Well, prep on the weekends.
There you go. Meal prep.
Yeah, meal prep. Cooking, prepping. Well, I only came up with 2. Oops.
That's all right.
And mediation to try and lock in the things that I want to do.
Okay.
I only wrote 2.
That's all right.
Sometimes-
So we all have a shell of one now. So now I want you to you could flesh this out even more on your own. And then what you need to do is take the opportunities and somehow time block them in your calendar. So they're things to actually do.
Oh, yeah.
Time block it. Like put it in your calendar.
That was it. Yeah.
And this is what I would do during a strategy session. Is like, okay, how did I do with that? How did I do last week? How am I doing overall in general? I mean, those kind of things. So I would definitely make sure that you are taking your opportunities of things that you're going to, because this is what you're going to do. These things you already did. This is what you're going to do. So this goes in your calendar somehow. You got to figure out a way to put this in your calendar so then you have something to act on and to do. That make sense? What do you have, Travis?
I did work on family.
Family? Good.
I had 2 daughters get married this summer and got no one get engaged. So all of them are like huge changes in their family.
Yeah, huge changes. I love that.
Learn some of the new stuff. What to do with guys? I raised 3 girls. So it's a different thing.
Yeah. You're the opposite, Sharon.
So it's there's some challenges there too, but I want to make sure I get basically to bring them all together. I want to create opportunities to have one-on-one time with them, to bond with them, to create relationships with them and stuff too. So
I love that.
but, and it's an important thing because if I don't, then they just kind of drift away.
Right.
That's true.
I don't want that to happen. I want our family to be tight.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
It's just, I mean, it's still a scary world out there. I mean, they're still my kids. Even these new boys are my kids. And there's
Right.
a lot of confusing stuff out there. I want to help them navigate this confusing.
Hey, Jenny.
things.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's exciting. Yeah, I would definitely build out some action sessions then
Exactly.
with those.
Yep.
And you do a ton of stuff so that you're probably a great guy to do stuff with.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's great stuff to do. I just need to and that was my weakness, not sitting there and just like doing that, putting that on the calendar, saying, you know what, inviting them to come do that with me or whatever. I gotta go trim the junipers. Come on, help me out do that. Or I'm gonna go fishing today. I want you to come fishing today. Or I'm gonna go on a hike today. Come hiking with me today. Whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe how you can help them at their house if they just bought a house.
Oh,
Or,
I haven't bought a house yet. It's gonna be a while.
Yeah.
you never know. You know?
They're in their 20s.
In this market, it can be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think about that with my kids. My kids are 17 and 19. It's like, when are they going to buy a home? It's getting tougher for the first-time home buyers right now. This is the lowest year for first-time home buyers ever. You guys realize
Isn't
that,
it
right?
like the most people buying right now are 65 plus or something?
Yeah. It's the lowest ever for first-timers. So hopefully that'll start coming around. We'll see. We'll talk more about that. So do this on your own when you get home. Pick another category, flesh this one out more, do some more things. This is a great way to plan for your year. And I say this over and over again, but the biggest key is the strategy sessions. You have to revisit this stuff at least every week. This should be in your calendar. I'm doing a strategy session. It doesn't have to be more than 5 minutes, but to sit and think about what did I do last week? What do I want to do this week? And what can I do right now? Remember the business planning we talked about last week with Chuck Blakeman? Where am I at right now? Where do I want to go? What can I do right now to start moving in that direction? And just do that pattern every single week. And you'll get better and better and better. There's going to be times where you let down and make mistakes, but we all make mistakes. We're human beings, but we can get better and better and better if we keep doing this consistently. So that's why we talk about creating an environment that supports your goals. Not having sweets around, having note cards around. Make the easy decision the right one, because we're typically going to make the easy decision. If it's sitting right here, I guess I'm going to have some of this. This is water. It's not pop, right? A Red Bull. Make the easy, whatever's around us in our kitchen, on our counters, when we're sitting on the couch, in our office, what's right here, because that's what we're going to do. The problem with the world today is this. We can scroll for hours and hours and do nothing.
I have no time
Right.
for anything else.
Exactly.
Stuck on TikTok.
So small changes. Make sure your opportunities category, what you're time blocking and doing stuff, are small changes. Atomic habits. Atomic means small. Atomic is teeny tiny little changes repeated over a long period of time. Okay, that's the process we want to do. So we'll talk about process development at some point too. That's a good one. So we're going to talk about doing hard things real quickly, and I want to make sure I announce these, and I want you to fill this form out. Doing hard things, intentionally taking action you know is not going to be easy, yet the end result will exceed the effort and the pain you'll suffer. That's why we do hard things, because we know the result is going to be better. Eating an apple a day. Not really that hard, but if we're not doing it yet, it might be hard, right? Whatever it is, eating healthy, eating right. So we have a comfort crisis. There's a whole book. If you guys haven't read the book by Michael Easter, The Comfort Crisis is a really good book. It's a really good book. The Comfort Crisis. He talks about how, this office is heated in the winter. It's air conditioned in the summer. Our cars are heated and air conditioned. So are our homes. We have, we dress appropriately for the weather. We're never really that uncomfortable anymore. If we want a snack, we have a snack. If we're thirsty, we just grab a water. I mean, we've done a good job as human beings creating an environment, a society that pretty much everything is available. If we're bored, plenty of stimulation right here, right? So we're never uncomfortable. So there's a lot of articles. I sent one to my daughter last week, actually, on the benefits of boredom for your brain. It's actually really good to be bored and not constantly stimulated.
Exactly.
Your kids' brains develop a lot better when they have to use their imagination and come up with their own entertainment rather than constantly being entertained. We're just going to become drones. But doing hard things has a ton of different benefits. The biggest one is confidence. Like, how do you get confidence in life? If you want to be confident to close somebody, we talked last week about a lot of realtors are really friendly and they have a hard time transitioning to leading and directing people and closing them. That comes from confidence. The only way you get confidence is by doing difficult things and overcoming it. Then you have you can pretend to have confidence, but you don't until you've done something hard. Then you're like, yeah, I know I can do that. Become more positive, happy, healthier, and you'll worry less. That's by doing hard things. These are all benefits of doing hard things. Because you have belief in yourself, right? So why don't people do this? Well, fear of failure. People are afraid to, I'll try something and it won't work. Remember the valley of disappointment? You're going to be there for a long time, and people don't like that. They want to succeed right now. I've played competitive racquetball at the A level. I played varsity sports in college. I was a runner. I raced sports cars for 9 years. I've done some athletics at a very high level, and I see people that first get into something, and if they can't have the results they want right away, they just quit. That's most people, by far most people, just quit. I don't want to do it. I'll go do something else then. Well, you're never going to get good at anything if that's what you keep doing. I mean, try and find things you have an aptitude for, but you still have to stick with it.
You have to fail to grow.
Right.
You have to stumble to. We just didn't come out and start walking. I mean.
Yeah. Crawl, walk, run. So worry about what other people think about them. That's another reason people don't do hard things. I'm going to be embarrassed, or I'm not going to look like I'm very good at something, and I always want to make sure I look right. I look good, and I want to be right. That's what people really hang on to. They lack confidence to try new things. They like their comfort zone. We all like our comfort zone. Unfamiliar is uncomfortable and undesirable. So we typically want to stay in our comfort zone. People are busy. Some people prioritize daily routines over personal development. People want instant gratification, especially younger people these days, because they grew up with instant gratification. We didn't grow up with instant gratification. It's amazing to me, my kids having the concept of watching a sports program with all the ads, or watching, you have to be on, the game is on now. It's you better come and watch it. Yeah, it's on. You yell people, they have to run back into the bathroom break and then, hey, it's back on. They don't understand, recording things, DVRs that we have now. I mean, I didn't grow up with that stuff. And so you just missed it. It's oh, well, that's no fun.
There was no rewind.
Instant gratification is great, but it's also a real problem in stick-to-itiveness, grit, work ethic. So my kids yesterday, so I made my kids do this. This is great. They filled up 12 bags of leaves, big leaf bags. I said, because my wife blew out all the leaves in the yard, because I do the mowing, my son does it, but this year he got a job, so I'm doing the mowing, and again, he got landed back on me. But my wife blew all the leaves out in the yard, and I told the kids, you guys, this weekend, I told them this week before, you're doing the leaves. I don't care when you do it, but it's going to be done this weekend. And they got together, the two of them, which is so cool because they hardly ever do anything together. And it took them several hours. They were out in the yard. I mean, this was Saturday? It was Saturday, so it didn't rain yet. It rained on Sunday, yesterday, yeah. So luckily they got it done before the rain. But it took them hours to do this. But I'll tell you, it's been a process of getting them to be able to do stuff like that. They would come in for years. They would come in after 10 minutes and want a break.
Okay, we're done.
Yeah.
We need water.
We need a water. We need a break. I need a rest. We need a snack.
It's
after
heavy.
10 minutes.
It's heavy.
And like, guys, you need to work on your work ethic here. And so, it's not their fault. They grew up with instant gratification. They didn't grow up with their brain learning to struggle for a long period of time to get things done. Most people aren't willing to put in the time and effort required to take on new challenges. As again, you have to do it long enough that it becomes kind of a habit. Then you have to do that long enough before it becomes like your identity. This could be years of doing something, right? It could take a while. So it takes courage, confidence, and willingness to step out of your comfort zone to really challenge yourself. But that's why I do my ice bath thing every single day. This has actually made me better in other areas of my life, just trying to figure out how to make sure I do my ice bath every day, because it's hard to do it. It's hard to figure it out. Most people aren't willing to put in the time. It's funny, the workers up in McCall last time I was up there, so we're going up to McCall next week, so our 2 days a month, because my wife has the art gallery stuff up there. So this week, actually, we're going up this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in McCall. But I'm going to be in the lake again, because there's no place in McCall to do an ice bath. But there's a guy I found this out at Ponderosa that chips holes in the ice, and he does ice baths up there. So I'm going to go meet this guy, and we're going to do ice baths together. But it's like, it's not convenient. There's nowhere to go. So you just got to walk. And last time I did it, the workers were all staring at me. They're all bundled up, had the beanie hats, the big coats. I'm walking down in my swimsuit with a towel. And they're looking at me going, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to go for a swim. And
They're like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
What is he doing? And
the one guy was smoking. He's like, shaking his head, and the other guy, have fun. And they were like actually interested. They watched me go down and get in the water. It was really funny. I talked to him for like 5 minutes afterwards with my wife. They thought it was great. I told them I've been doing this every day for over 1,000 days and da-da-da. I was like, oh, that's cool. But yeah.
In doing something like that, if I may,
Yeah.
hopefully you just never know how that might inspire somebody else too. Like I said, one guy's in there smoking, probably not the greatest of health.
He wasn't.
You know
Yep.
what? He expected something crazy hard, so maybe he makes one little change in his life. Maybe he eats an apple that day.
That's right.
So I love that. I love that, you're doing things out in public where other people can see stuff, and it may inspire them to change at least a little bit.
12 people in my friend group have started doing ice baths in the last 3 years since I have.
You have influence, a positive influence on other
Right.
people, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
I was going to, and I bought the ice bath cheapo thing.
Yeah.
So summer I couldn't keep the ice cold. I threw
Yeah.
it in the garage, so now I'm going to pull it out.
You got to have one with a
I'm gonna
chiller,
pull it back
otherwise
out
it's a
for the
pain.
winter, Yeah.
Yeah.
Fill it full of ice and water.
stay cool.
Let's see. So examples. These are some things, I just put examples of things that you could do if you wanted to. Exercise every day. For some people, that's a hard thing because they don't do it. Anything you don't do all the time is hard, right? Is difficult for you to do it. So exercise every single day. Reduce or eliminate sugar. My wife's been great at this. She's been an inspiration to me because my wife doesn't hardly ever eat sugar or gluten. She's like really good at that. I love gluten. And sugar. Reduce or eliminate alcohol intake. For some people, that's a big one. I have a couple coaching clients of mine that quit drinking.
Stop drinking.
Make sure you write that down. Yeah, that's a good one. Reduce or eliminate processed foods. Like just eat real foods. That's a big thing. If you start looking at how our health is doing in the last 20 or 30 or 40 years, don't look far from what we eat and how much we move our bodies. Like it's not rocket science. The problem is it's pervasive. The convenient everyday stuff and the norm is not good. So if you fall in the norm, you're like everybody else, but there's a lot of peer pressure around that.
You know what really helped me stop eating the processed foods?
Mm-hmm.
Moving out to the country where there's none of it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what helped me.
We have eggs and we have meat.
Yeah, that's why.
There you go.
That's why I wanted, after my cancer, that's how I did a lifestyle change. I
Good.
moved out of the city, moved to the country, had a piece of property.
I love it. That's awesome. Yeah, environmental design. By moving somewhere where it wasn't as easy to get.
Now I have 50 chickens and a couple goats and looking at getting a cow.
Yeah.
Eat, grow our own food.
Love it. Journal every day. Read for education. Don't watch the news. That's a big one.
I did that like 6 years ago. Turned the TV.
Good. Study a foreign language. Practice a musical instrument. Follow time block schedules. For some, that's probably a good one for a lot of people. Hey, figure out how to really time block and follow it. Take an ice bath. There's one of mine. So let me show you. I'm going to bring up this thing. I want you to fill out this form for me, though. But I want to announce a couple things we're doing. Make sure these are on the camera. So we have a sign-up sheet. If you're not here and you're watching this video, make sure you email me, rick@rickgray.com, or go to the Slack channel, because we're going to have, starting today, we're tracking our points for the Superhero Lead Gen Challenge. So next Monday at 11, if that works for everybody, put that on your calendar. But next Monday at 11 is when we're going to do the dice roll for prizes.
Here.
Here. So you have to be here to roll the dice. So if you got a bunch of points and you don't show up to roll the dice, well, I guess you don't get any prizes. So you have to actually come into the office Monday at 11 o'clock for the next 4 weeks. This is starting day 1. We're going to do this for 4 weeks. And the activities that are worth points are on the Slack channel.
So is it 1 roll per point, or is it certain 5 points per roll? Or
It's 1 roll for every 150 points.
Okay.
But there's a bunch. I've expanded what counts as points. And if you think of things that aren't on here, tell me, and we'll talk about how much it should be worth. Hey, Brent. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you. So today, sign this, Brent. Make sure I have got in here because I know you want to do this. The Superhero Lead Gen Challenge starts today. So I'm going to send an email. Did everybody get an email from me about this class last week?
Yes.
I sent one, but I don't know if it goes to people's spam or not. Because I sent one to
I got
the.
your voicemail too.
You got my voicemail, yeah. So that starts today. Next week, that's going to be 11 o'clock. Next week, we're going to do a dice roll. If you want to participate in the, thanks, Brent, scripts class, Dave Carney has suggested we do a scripts class for Op City leads. Like literally, what do you say to somebody? How do you answer the phone? When you call them, what do you say to convert them to a lead? What's the next step then? We're going to do a class on that next Monday at 10. That'll be the class here. We'll do the dice rolls right after that. You're not going to be here Monday at 10? We'll film it. We'll film it again. Yep. We're filming all these, so it's on the YouTube channel. So last week's class is already on the YouTube channel. You can go watch that.
You do?
So be here next Monday at 11. We'll roll the dice. But between now and then, let's make sure we start tracking our points. If you have questions, reach out to me. Next week, we're also going to start the 7 days of giving back. So I've kind of explained what that is, but I'll put it in the Slack channel. Actually, just one thing every single day that you post on social media. The whole point is to get everybody in the brokerage, or at least as many as we can, posting on social media something, either a listing, I toured this house, I went to this coffee shop, these guys are awesome. Yeah, anything. And I take a picture at least and post it on social media, hashtag Sweet Group Realty. We need a hashtag Sweet Group Realty in all the posts. If you want to do video, that's even better, but at least a photograph that you can post on social media. Hey, I'm over here at this coffee shop. I love their coffee. Great mochas, and they're smiling with the person who made it for me. Click, put it on social media, tag them, the business, and tag Sweet Group Realty.
I'm doing my trainer this week.
There you go. Good. That's going to start next week. Okay, but that starts next week. You can do it anytime you want, by the way. But next week we're starting a 7-day. We want everybody to do it every day for 7 days.
Oh, it starts what?
It starts next Monday.
Okay, so don't deny it.
You can do it now. You should do it now. Do it every day. But we're
For next
focusing
week,
on it.
I won't be here.
Yep, for next week. If you're not going to be here next week, do it this week.
I'll do it this week.
Yeah, that'd be good,
Also
Tracy.
do the house line listing in California.
There you go. I'm teaching a class this Wednesday at Fidelity. This Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning at Fidelity, I'm teaching a class on the AI-powered consumer. I've really gone through a lot of this material with Eric Post, the founder of Whoozy, and our AI company Whoozy is just making strides. It's crazy what we're doing now. You need to come to this class if you're in real estate and you care about your business, because consumers have AI too, and consumers are using AI. And we're going to talk about how to make sure we're still valuable to them, because if we're doing our listing presentations with AI, doing our CMAs with AI, coming up with our marketing plans with AI, so are they. So why do they need you as a realtor? If I'm a for sale by owner, or I'm thinking about being a for sale by owner, why am I going to call a realtor when I can do everything with ChatGPT and AI? That's literally what's happening, guys. I mean, as an industry, we better be paying attention to this. That's what I'm going to talk about on Wednesday. I'm going to give you some great techniques on how to create emotion. Emotion is the key thing to bind people to us, creating an emotional experience.
Again, the comforts with AI coming.
Yeah.
Even making our lives more comfortable.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of things coming. So we're going to talk about that on this Wednesday. That's in 2 days at Fidelity or by Topgolf. The script panel is next Monday. If you want to come do the script panel with the Op City leads, next Monday at this time, 10 o'clock. The pie, hopefully you guys all saw this, the pie event is on the 25th. So that's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. That's a week from tomorrow.
Not for me. I have like 11 family members.
Okay. There you go. If you can do it, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, which is the 25th, from 5 to 6:30 in the evening, we'll be here. And if you want to give pies away, we will pay, the Sweet Group and Premier Mortgage will pay for 10 pies per person. If you're an agent, want to come here, you have 10 people, invite 10 people, have them come, and we'll pay for the pies. And if you have more than that, great, but we'll pay for 10 of them. but that's going to be Tuesday next week from 5 to 6:30 in the evening.
25th.
It's on the this is on the Slack channel as well under events.
Do we need to let you know how many we expect to come? So you get
Yes,
5?
we'll have to know by Friday of this week, and we'll put that in the Slack channel, like how many pies we're buying for everybody.
Got it.
We need
Can we
to.
just send them and say that so-and-so, or we're gonna be here giving them out? Or
Yeah, we're going to be here giving them out.
That's a great excuse to call people.
Yeah, this is the whole point. The whole point is to give you an excuse to call people. I don't care if they want a pie or not. You reached out to them. You said, hey, my real estate brokerage is having a fun little pie event. Would you like a pumpkin pie? Pumpkin only. I used to do apple or pumpkin. Logistics was a nightmare. Pumpkin pies.
Yep. Perfect.
There you go. Ask them if they want one. If they don't, that's okay.
Just on contact.
I reached out to a bunch of people this weekend. I think I reached out to 18 people this weekend. I think I talked to 12 that responded. A bunch of no's that they really appreciated it, and that was the whole point, reaching out to them.
That was at 5?
5 to 6:30 next Tuesday, right here. Yep. Okay. And that's in the Slack channel under events. People need to go, if you're watching this video, go to the Slack channel. There's all kinds of good things on there, and then respond. And then the 6 core competencies. If you're not here, you can reach out to me. If you're here, I'm going to hand these out to you guys. I want you to fill this out before we go. Because this is, I want to work with you individually if you need it. And this to kind of give me an idea. You can keep it, but this is going to give me an idea of what to work on. These are the core competencies in real estate. So I'm going to move this board back out of the way. The idea of this form is to rate yourself. Lead generation, presenting to buyers and sellers, showing homes, marketing homes, writing and negotiating contracts, coordinating the sale to close, and managing the money. So what I want you to do is go through and give yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, a number of how good you think you are at each one of these things. And then that will help me come up with more ideas for classes, and then how to help you one-on-one as well, if you want to meet with me individually.
And then we're going to give these back to you?
Yeah, I'd like to collect them at some point. Yeah, that'd be good. And we're almost out of time. Good, 2 minutes. So fill this form out. So if you're watching this on the video and you're not here, make sure you get a hold of me and I'll give you one of these forms. Because I do want to know what you're good at and what you're weaker in so we can maximize your strengths and bring up your weaknesses.
Number 3,
Yes, sir.
you got buyers and sellers, probably better buyers than sellers, so it's hard to just put that all in one.
How confident are you at showing property, and then how detailed
Oh,
is your marketing plan? So separate them out.
you do break it up.
Yep. Most of the agents here are pretty experienced, but sometimes it's fun to revisit how to show a house. What do you talk about? What do you say to somebody? How do you lead them through a property? I mean, there's techniques there that can really help you. And if you have a construction background, it's very helpful to be able to talk about things. And then when you're finished, yeah, you can give those to me. And then that's the end of the class today. So what I want you to do, your assignments are Slack channel. Make sure you know the classes and events coming up. And do your SWOTs for yourself. Start doing strategy sessions based on what you do in your SWOT.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense, everybody?
That makes sense.
All right, good. I will come around and get these. Melissa,
I didn't finish mine.
we'll talk. Yeah, that'll be good. We'll talk. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.